Hello learners, welcome back to my channel Shraddha's Physics. In this lecture, we will discuss on the vibrations in one-dimensional monoatomic lattice. Now let us start our topic with the vibrations of one-dimensional monoatomic lattice. So let us consider an one-dimensional chain of atoms where each atom has mass m and it is attached to the other atoms by the massless springs. So now you can see here these are the atoms. Okay, these are the atoms and it has been, suppose the mass are same, all having mass same suppose, and they are attached by a massless spring, and here you can see the springs are here. Okay, so these are attached with a massless springs, you can see. Okay, now such a discrete arrangement of atoms constitutes a non-homogeneous medium which is distinguished from a homogeneous medium wherein the line of atoms is continuous without any breaks. So here you can see this in the state of equilibrium. We can say that in this case the atoms are attached with the massless springs and the chain is, we can say the chain is continuous without any breaks in between. Now let us consider the equilibrium state of the atoms when these are situated at equispaced. You can see that the equally spaced sides represented by this. Suppose this is my atom, that is the point of consideration. Suppose like that you can consider this is suppose at n distance. Okay, now for the next one this will be at the n plus 1 distance, and for the next atom this will be at n plus 2 distance, then the next for the n plus 3 distance, and so on. Similarly on the left hand side you can see this atom is at n minus 1th distance, and the next one is at the n minus 2 second distance, and similarly like n minus 3rd distance, and so on. This is the state of equilibrium, that is at the equilibrium condition they are at the, and there are distance you can see here, this distance is 1, this distance is, you can see this is also 1, because n plus 2 minus n plus 1, this will be 1. Again in between this distance is n minus 1 minus n, then this will be again minus 1, or simply you can say that the magnitude is 1. Okay, and so on. Now if the atoms are placed on the, suppose x axis, that is one dimensional here we are considering, if the atoms are placed on the x axis with the interatomic space is a, so here the lattice separation or the atomic separation, here we are considering the atomic separation is suppose a. Okay, so the x coordinates of the corresponding atoms are given by n minus 1a into na, n minus 1a, na, n plus 1a, and so on. Since here the atomic spacing, you can say the atomic spacing is a, so the for the position of nth position we can say at the x coordinate, it's at the x coordinate we can say this is at the distance na, this is at the distance n plus 1 into a, and this is at the distance n plus 2 into a, and this will be at the distance n minus 1 into a, and so on. Okay, now in the state of vibratory motion along the x-axis, the atoms will execute periodic motion about their equilibrium position and becomes the source of elastic waves which propagates through the medium. Now when the vibration started because of any thermal agitation or for any reason, then the atoms will execute the periodic motion about their equilibrium position and it will become the source of elastic waves which propagates through the medium. Here we have already considered, that is in the previous lecture I have already told you, in case of the electromagnetic radiation we considered about the photon, but in case of the sound wave we considered about the phonons, and we have already discussed about the difference between the photons and phonons. Okay, now here we will see in detail. Let at any instant of time the displacement of this nth, n minus 1th, n minus 2th, so on, these atoms from their mean positions to be, that is they will get displaced with the distance, that is un, un minus 1, un minus 2, and so on respectively. Now you can see that at any instant of time the position of the particle, suppose this is your nth particle and it will get displaced to this one, so that this displacement is your un. Similarly if this n plus 1th particle will get displaced to this point, then the displacement is, this will be this particular displacement, this is your un plus 1. And similarly its position, original position, that is at the equilibrium position, to the, because of the state of displacement, so this distance is your un plus 2. And similarly here for this will be, since it is the n minus 1th position, so simply here we are writing u n minus 1 in the subscript, so that you can distinguish. So this is your displacement for the n minus 1th particle. And similarly the particle is at this point and originally it is at this point, so in between this the distance is un minus 2. So this is the state of displacement. Now assuming the springs to be ideally elastic, the force between any two atoms, they will be linear. Linear means the force required to produce an atomic displacement is proportional to the displacement itself. That is, simply we can say that the force that we will apply, that will be proportional to the displacement. Force is proportional to the displacement. Let the force experienced by an atom be mainly due to the nearest neighbor. If u is the displacement of a spring with the spring constant beta, then the force exerted by a spring on the atom is, F equal to beta u, because if you can remember, the spring constant is k, and if the displacement is x, then we simply write the force will be equal to kx. Here this k is the beta, that is the spring constant is beta, and x is the displacement. Here this displacement is u. Okay. So here you can see the force experienced by an atom is mainly due to the nearest neighbor, because when they are attached in this spring, suppose they are attached, the atoms are attached. Likewise this, suppose the atom, this one, it will vibrate. When this atom will vibrate, then through the spring it will reach at this atom, and again it will start to vibrate, and again it will transfer the energy, then the nearest atom, it will start vibrating, and similarly the atoms join at this point, it will also vibrate. Okay. So here we are considering that if u is the displacement of the spring because of this vibration, so the force we can write that is equal to beta u, where beta is the spring constant. Since the nth atom is attached to the n minus 1th atom and the n plus 1th atoms by the two springs, here you can see this is suppose nth atom, here it is attached to the n minus 1th atom, and also it is attached to the n plus 1th atom. This one is n, here it is n minus 1, and this one is n plus 1th atom. Also you can see in this diagram, if this is the nth atom, this one is n plus 1th atom, and this one is n minus 1th atom, and they are attached with a spring. Here also your spring. So it will experiences two opposite forces, each one of which is proportional to the displacement of the corresponding spring. So we can write the net force. So you can see here, suppose let us consider for this atom and this atom. For the nth atom, if it will get displaced, then it will be displaced at suppose un displacement, and for this n plus 1th atom, if it will get displaced, then the displacement is un plus 1. Okay. So for this spring we can write this will be beta into force equal to beta into un plus 1 minus this un. Okay. Now similarly this spring is also attached with the n spring and the nth atom and the n minus 1th atom. For the nth atom the displacement is un, and similarly for the n minus 1th atom this will be un minus 1. So the force will be equal to, the force will be beta un minus un minus 1. This is un minus 1, or you may write like minus beta of this much. Actually this force will be beta into un minus 1 minus beta into un, or if we will take common minus, then this will be minus beta un minus 1. So the net force will be equal to the force due to this particle and the force due to this particle. So this is the addition of these two. So here we can write this will be equal to, you can see here, this will be equal to F equal to beta un plus 1 minus un, minus you are taken common only, nothing else. So minus beta un minus un minus 1. Okay. Now this will be equal to, here this is minus un and also this is minus beta un. So if we will take common, then this will be minus 2 un. this will be minus 2 un. Beta is taken common here. Un plus 1 minus plus, this will be plus un minus 1, and this will be minus 2 un. This is the total force. Now using Newton's second law, the equation of motion will be, you know the Newton's second law of motion, that is mass into acceleration, or this acceleration can be written as d square un by dt square. This is the force, and that will be equal to beta into un plus 1 plus un minus 1 minus 2 un, and that will be equal to, so you can, I am directly here, I have written the solution. So the solution to this equation is un will be equal to u naught exponential I omega t minus kNa. Since this is a lengthy theory, so I have written the direct solution, that is equal to un equal to u naught exponential I omega t minus kNa. For this Na, it represents the x coordinate of the nth atom in the equilibrium state. Okay, and this k equal to 2 pi by lambda, it is the wave vector or the propagation vector, and omega here is the angular frequency of the wave. Similarly, if we will calculate for the n plus 1th atom, you can see here, for the n plus 1th atom, if you can consider this is your n plus 1th atom, so the nearest to it will be, this one will be n plus, this will be the n plus 2th atom, and here is the nth atom. So now here we can also calculate the force because of this nth atom as well as this n plus 2th atom. So now you can write the expression, that is the equation of motion, you can directly write, this will be u naught exponential I omega t minus k. In place of n, you can see here n is present. So similarly here you can write for this expression, this will be k n plus 1a, and for u n minus 1, here simply you have to write n minus 1a. So you can write this equation, that is u n plus 1 equal to u naught exponential I omega t minus k whole into n plus 1 into a, and similarly u n minus 1 equal to u naught exponential I omega t minus k into n minus 1 whole into a. Okay. Now from this equation 2, 3 and 4, you can see why we are calculating this much, because from this expression, in this expression you have to just put this value, that is un minus 1 and un plus 1 value. Now if you will put the value of un and here un plus 1 and un minus 1, then this will be on the left hand side, this will be, if you will take the derivative of un, here this is d square un by dt square. If you will take the derivative twice, then this will be, first of all you will take derivative with respect to the t. So now this will be, for this expression, the exponential term will remain as it is. For the first derivative we will get I omega, and when you will take the second derivative, then this will be again I omega, and the rest of all the term will remain as it is, that is u naught exponential I omega t minus kNa. So I omega into I omega, I into I, that is I square is minus 1 into this will be omega square. So you can see the expression. So this will be your minus m omega square u naught exponential I omega t minus kNa. And similarly, if we will put the value of here, this is your beta into un plus 1. So in place of un plus 1, you have to put this value of equation 4. So here I have substituted the value of equation 4 here. And similarly, un minus 1 minus 2 into un. So after substituting all this value, you can directly substitute. From all this term, you can see this u naught term is taken common. So taking common u naught term and also the beta term. So here is also beta term is present. So then this will be exponential I omega t. Here also if you will consider, this is exponential I omega t minus k n plus 1 into a. So if you will take common minus k n a, then the remaining term will be here exponential minus I k into a, because this is iota and this will be minus k into a, you can see. So in the first term, the remaining term will be exponential minus I k, and similarly here in the second term, this is exponential I omega t minus k n a taken common, and also the beta term and u naught term is since taken common, so only the term remaining is minus 2. Okay. Again, in the third term, if I will take common exponential I omega t minus kn, then this will be minus into minus 1, this will be plus 1, So here this will be exponential I k into a. So here beta and u naught is also taken common. So the remaining term will be exponential iota k. Okay. So simply because of the exponential term or the common exponential term here taken common, so the remaining term will be like this. Now here if we will cancel this u naught with the u naught, this exponential I omega t minus kna with the exponential I omega t minus kna get cancelled. The remaining term will be equal to minus m omega square. You can see this is minus m omega square, that will be equal to beta into exponential this much term. So this will be exponential minus ik, and here this will be minus 2 plus exponential minus ik term will remain here. Now we can write this expression as beta into exponential, this will be ika by 2 minus exponential minus ika by 2 whole square. We can write like this. This total term you can write like this. You can see here from this expression, if we will take the square of this, this will be exponential ika divided by 2 whole square. This is in the form of a minus b whole square. So into 2. So this will be first a square. So this 2 to get cancelled. The first term will be exponential ik. Again a square, our formula is a square minus 2ab plus b square. So in place of minus 2ab I will write minus 2 into exponential, this is ika by 2, exponential ika by 2 into, in the b term this will be exponential minus ika by 2. So this exponential ika by 2 when get added with the exponential minus ika by 2, this will be equal to 1. This exponential 0, this exponential ika by 2 plus minus ika by 2, this term when get added, this plus sign get cancelled with this minus 1. So this will be exponential 0, and the exponential 0 is nothing but exponential 0 is your 1. So this will be 2 into 1. Simply this will be 2, that is your minus 2 again, plus b square. So in place of b square I will write exponential minus ika by 2 into 2. So this 2 to get cancelled, this will be exponential minus ika. So here we can represent in this way also. Phi I have written in this way, you can see. You know sin x equal to exponential ix minus exponential minus ix divided by 2y. If we take the square of this sin, then this will be sin square x will be equal to 1 by I square. You know 1 by I square will be minus 1. So this will be simply minus 1 into 1 by 2 square is 1 by 4. This will be exponential ix minus exponential minus ix whole square. And in this expression you can see here this is in the form of exponential ika by 2 minus exponential minus ika by 2 whole square. The expression is exponential ika by 2 minus exponential minus ika by 2 whole square. So if you can compare this equation with this, then this will be simply sin square ka by 2. This ka by 2 is nothing but your x. So this will be sin square ka by 2, and here beta term is present. You can see here the beta term is present. So you have to write here beta. Since this value we are writing, so this will be equal to minus 4 into sin square x. This exponential term will be equal to minus 4 into this much. So here we have multiplied minus 4 term. Okay. So this will be minus 4 beta into this much, and the left hand side term will remain as it is, that is minus m omega square. Now this omega square can be written as, this minus minus get cancelled, this will be omega will be equal to, if m will get divided here, this will be 4 beta by m sin square ka by 2, and if we will take the root over of this will be plus or minus 4 beta by m root over sin ka by 2. This is this angular frequency, this relation is called the dispersion relation. Now also we can write this expression as, you know, sin square theta equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2, or in place of sin ka by 2 we can write, or in place of sin square, here you can see the relation here. In this place, that is minus m omega square equal to this much. In this expression, if this m will get divided here, this expression will be like, this will be, here I am writing omega square will be equal to 4 beta divided by m into sine square ka by 2. Okay. So in place of sine square theta, this is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2, or simply in this place we can write this will be 1 minus cos ka by 2. Okay, and this is equal to, if I write m omega square divided by this m into omega square divided by 4 beta, then this will be equal to 1 minus cos ka by 2, or simply this 2 will get cancelled with this 4, then this will be m omega square by 2 beta equal to 1 minus cos ka. Now if I plot a graph between this m omega square by 2 beta, m omega square by 2 beta and the ka, if I plot a graph between m omega square by 2 beta and for the ka, then you can, if you put the value of ka equal to suppose 0, when the value of k is 0, cos 0 is your 1, so this 1 minus 1 will be 0, so then m omega square by 2 beta, this value is 0. Now you can see in this graph, this is suppose this vertical one is your m omega square by 2 beta and this horizontal one is your ka. So if you will put the value of ka equal to 0, then for that this will be, the value will be 0. And again if you will put the value that is pi, if you will put the value is pi, that is ka value is pi, you can see here, if I will put the value ka to be pi, then cos pi is your minus 1. So this minus 1, here is 1 minus 1, this will be 2. 1 minus of minus 1, this will be equal to 2. So the m omega square by 2 beta, its value will be 2. So that is the maximum value, or you can say this is the maximum value of m omega square by 2 beta. Now you can see this is the value, and again if we put the value 2 beta, then again it will goes to 0, and similarly on the left hand side. Okay, so this is the dispersion relation for a one dimensional monoatomic lattice. Now here we can calculate for the low frequency. If we put k equal to 0, when this k equal to 0, then the sine ka by 2 term, it goes to ka by 2. So in this relation you can see equation 5, omega equal to 4 beta by m root over sine ka by 2. So here you know omega equal to plus or minus, this is actually 4 beta by m root over sine ka by 2. So in place of when k tends to 0, then this will be ka by 2. So this will be simply the root over of 4 is 2, then 2 get cancelled with this 2. This will be beta by m root over into k. Now the phase velocity, it is defined as the rate of advance of a point of constant phase along the propagation direction of the wave, or simply we can write the phase velocity equal to omega by k. In the modern physics I have already told you about this one, that is Vp equal to omega by k. And also in the quantum mechanics you must be acquainted with this topic, that is the phase velocity and the group velocity. In the phase velocity, so this Vp equal to omega by k, in place of omega you can see here this omega equal to beta by m root over into k. If we will divide this k here, this will be omega by k equal to beta by m root over into a. So this will be beta by m root over into a. This is the phase velocity. And similarly the group velocity, that is the velocity of the group of waves or its envelope, and represents the velocity with which the wave transmit energy along the direction of propagation. So for the group velocity, if you write the expression, you know Vg equal to d omega by dk. Phase velocity is omega by k and group velocity is d omega by dk. So if you take the derivative with respect to k, you can see here in this expression, this omega equal to beta by m root over, this is beta by m root over into k. So this beta by m root over constant and a is constant, so this will be simply beta by m root over into a. And here in this expression you can see the value of Vp is beta by m root over into a, and Vg equal to beta by m root over into a, that is phase velocity is equal to the group velocity. So what is the meaning of this? Then what is the conclusion for this? That is when the Vp equal to Vg, you can see here the conclusion is that when Vp is equal to Vg, an exactly similar result is found for a homogeneous and continuous line. So it means that for when this phase velocity equal to group velocity, so this will be a homogeneous and continuous line. So at the low frequency means long wavelength, because you know C equal to nu lambda, nu equal to C by lambda, that is it is inversely proportional to the wavelength. So at the low frequency and the long wavelength, the atomic nature of the solid is of little importance as for the dynamical properties of the system are concerned. So this is due to insensitiveness of the discrete medium. Because a large number of atoms, it undergo all types of displacement as on a homogeneous line. So you can see in this diagram, a large number of atoms, they will undergo all types of displacement. So here, this is the graph for this. Then similarly, if you will calculate for the higher frequency, this k tends to pi by a, and similarly this sin k by 2, it goes to 1. And if you will calculate similarly omega, then this omega will be equal to 2 into beta by m root over, because you know omega is equal to 4 beta by m root over into sin k by 2, and this 4 beta by m root over sin k by 2 is goes to 1. So this will be 2 into root over beta by m. And if you will calculate Vp, then Vp equal to omega by k. In place of omega, you will substitute 2 into beta by m root over and divided by, if we will put the value of k, then this will be simply 2 by k into beta by m root over. And let me write, this is suppose sin k by 2 remain as it is, suppose. I have not substituted the value of k. So in that case, we can write Vp equal to omega by k root of omega by k, that is equal to 2 by k into beta by m root over into sin k by 2. And similarly, if you will calculate for Vg, then this will be d omega by k, that is equal to this sin k by 2. Here it depends on the k. That's why if you will calculate the derivative with respect to k, then this will be a into beta by m root over, this will be cos k by 2, because here this a by 2 term comes here. The derivative of sin k by 2 is cos k by 2, and since we are taking the derivative with respect to k, so a by 2 term will get multiplied here. So this will be a, and the 2 by k term, because of this 1 by 2, they will get cancelled. Then this will be simply not 2 by k, this is, let me solve this here. For Vg equal to d omega by dk, you know omega equal to 4 beta by m root over, omega equal to, let me write, omega equal to root over of 4 beta by n, or this will be beta by m root over sin k by 2. Okay, sin k by 2. So the beta by m root over, so here I will write, if I will take d omega by dk, then this will be 2 into beta by m root over, this will be cosine ka by 2 into the derivative with respect to k, here we are considering. So here will be another term, that will be a by 2. So these two to get cancelled, then this will be the value of Vg. Okay, that is the group velocity. Now also, when we are calculating for the high frequency, or if I will consider this k value to be pi by a, or this sin k by term goes to 1, in that case I will write, this will be just like 2 into beta by m root over. This will be simply, if I will take the sin k by 2, that is you know omega equal to 4 beta by m root over, or this will be 2 into beta by m root over, and the sin k by term, that is goes to 1. So again, if I will divide this omega with the k, you know k equal to 2 pi by lambda, or this can be written as, if I will consider this k value to be pi by a, so this will, if I will divide this pi by a here, that is omega by k term, so here this will be simply a by pi. So the Vp value will be equal to this much. And again, since this term doesn't contains, since the omega term here also, you can see in this term no k term is present, so d omega by dk goes to 0 for the higher frequency. This Vg represents a transfer of signal or the energy, that is the transfer of energy. So the conclusion for this is, when this omega value is 2 into beta by m root over, so no signal or energy is propagated, because here d omega by dk is 0. So the wave is a standing wave. You can see here the standing wave. Now at the higher frequency, that is when lambda equal to 2a, the situation is equivalent to the Bragg reflection of X-ray, that is from the successive planes of the atoms in the crystal. That is 2d sin theta equal to n lambda, you know. So for the first order normal incidence, the lambda will be equal to 2t. And here you must note a point. The displacement are shown here. These are the transverse for the sake of simplicity, but actually these are longitudinal in nature. So these waves are basically longitudinal in nature. You can see if we will draw like this, then this will be simply the longitudinal one. Now if we plot a graph between the phase velocity and k, that is the wave vector, the generalized expression here I have calculated for you, that is Vp equal to this much, that is 2 by k beta by m root over sin k by 2, and the group velocity is this much. Now you can see the value of this omega by k, this term is this much. When the value of k equal to 0, when you will put the k value to be 0, the limit tends to, we can write limit k tends to 0, sin some 0 divided by 0, or this is in the form 0 by 0, and if you will apply, or if I write sin x divided by x, this is in this form, that is sin k by 2 divided by k by 2. So simply by applying the L'Hospital rule, this value will goes to 1. So Vp will be equal to beta by m root over into a. So this is the maximum value here, you can see. And similarly, if we will put the value of 2 pi by a, 4 pi by a, and 6 pi by a, and so on, like minus 2 pi by a, minus 4 pi by a, and minus 6 pi by a. So here you can see this curve will goes on decreasing, and here also it will goes on decreasing. And similarly, if you will calculate for the group velocity, that is Vg equal to d omega by dk, that is equal to this much. And now again, if we will plot a graph between this Vg and k, if we will put the value of k to be 0, then this cos 0 is 1. So the maximum value here is beta by m root over into a. So the maximum value will be a into beta by m root over into a into beta by m root over. Okay. And similarly, you can put the value of pi by a, 2 pi by a, 3 pi by a, and so on, and also minus pi by a, minus 2 pi by a, and so on. Suppose for example, if you will put the value pi by a, so here cos, in place of k I will put cos pi by a into, here I am substituting for cos ka by 2. So this will be pi by a into a divided by 2. So a get cancelled, this will be cos pi by 2. You know the cos pi by 2 is 0. So simply this is the point, that is the group velocity is 0 here. And again, you will calculate for cos 2 pi by a, again you will reach at the maximum point, and so on. So the group velocity as a function of the propagation of constant k, it is shown here. Now if we will calculate the Brillouin zones for this, that is the primitive cell. Brillouin zone is nothing but the primitive cell in the reciprocal lattice. So the ratio of the displacement of the two successive plane is un divided by un plus 1, and you know un equal to u naught exponential I omega t minus kna, and for un plus 1 displacement, this is simply I omega exponential I omega t minus k. In place of n, I will put n plus 1 into a. Here from this, you can see, from this expression, that is here we have already calculated for un equal to this much displacement, and un plus 1 is this, that is un plus 1 equal to this much. So from equation 3 and 4, this is our relation. And if we will cancel this two term, here you can see minus, this is your exponential I omega t minus kna, and in the here this will be exponential I omega t minus kna minus k into 1 into a. So this will be simply, after cancelling this, I will get u naught get cancelled, and this part only your exponential ik will remain. So a range of 2 pi for ka, it includes all the independent values of exponential ik. As the wave propagates from the right or left, so both positive and negative values of k we need. So it means that the range of k will be equal to, that is the ka, its value lies between minus pi to plus pi, or we can write k value will be this. If we will get divide this a term, then this will be minus pi by a to plus pi by a, and this is known as the fast Brillouin zone. The k value that lies between minus pi by a to plus pi by a. So you can see here, if I will plot a graph between the k and the sin ka by 2, that is omega by 4 beta by m root over, that we have just calculated. So in this way you can see that when this value is 0, that is k value is 0, the sin ka by 2 is also 0. When k equal to 0, sin 0 is 0, and when this will be pi by a, this will be sin this sin Ka by 2, its value will be equal to, in place of K, if I will put pi by a, so this will be sin pi by 2, sorry, pi by a into a by 2. So this a get cancelled, this will be sin pi by 2. You know sin pi by 2 is 1. So this will be reaches at the maximum point. And similarly, if you put 2 pi by a, again it goes to 0. If you put minus pi by a, it will again goes to maximum 1, and so on. So you can see that, see here, this particular region, that is in between minus pi by a to the plus pi by a. Okay, this is your fast Brillouin. Now similarly, it has an importance in periodic structure, and the region minus 2 pi by a to plus 2 pi by a, here you can see, and pi by a to plus 2 pi by a region, this is called the second Brillouin. You can see here the next one, that is, let me change the color, just a minute. Now you can see for the region minus pi by a to minus 2 pi by a region, and from plus pi by a to plus 2 pi by a region, this one, this is called the second Brillouin zone. Okay, so the possible solution in the second and higher zone is the same as the character of the possible solution in the first zone, except the K values. So any arrangement of the atomic position representing a sinusoidal wave of wavelength lambda lying in a higher zone can be represented or reduced to a sinusoidal wave for which K or lambda lies in the first zone. So it is not desirable to consider vibrations contained in the region other than the fast Brillouin zone. So the K value of second and higher zone can be made to lie in the fast zone by subtracting a suitable integral multiple of 2 pi by a. So the new value of K, it will give identical result except with a difference of the wavelength. So this is all about your one-dimensional monoatomic lattice. If you feel any difficulty at any point, just go through the video once again. Thank you all.